I'm Logan Crawford, and right now on Spotlight, we're diving into the extraordinary world of Clif Chambliss with Entrepreneur Power Up, my ad-free startup success and your guide to doing the same. Today, we're going to discover how Clif turned daunting challenges and personal despair into groundbreaking success in the video gaming industry, all without traditional advertising. Join us right now as we uncover the unique strategies and relentless determination that powered up his journey. We're delighted to have this very talented entrepreneur and author join us here today on Spotlight. We thank the team at Atticus Publishing for helping us put him in the spotlight today. And we ask viewers like you to support writers like him by subscribing to our channel and by purchasing his wonderful book. The links are below this interview. Clif, great to see you here today on Spotlight.
Thank you, Logan. Glad to be here.
It's great to hear that organic, viral growth outside of traditional advertising still exists. For the folks out there who are looking to promote their business, to promote their website, to promote their services, what's the number one bit of advice you would give them?
Well, many people start businesses, and the big crisis is that they don't have the budget for expensive advertising. So you're right, organic growth is key. The number one advice I have for people is to make your company, your product, your business about your community that you're building online through social media, through connecting with other people, other companies. It's all about them. Foster those relationships, give them value, feature them in your social media, and start to build that community. That's really the key to get things going.
Exactly. Community building is huge. It's big in the crypto world, the NFT world, and of course, the viral video and website world as well. Tell us what inspired the creation of your groundbreaking company and product during a challenging time in your life.
Sure. Well, I was a father of newborn twin baby boys, and I had failed a lot in entrepreneurship in the years prior. But when holding those boys, I had a product idea, and I told my wife about it, and she encouraged me to just proceed ahead and start the company and really move forward with it. So I came up with the idea. I did a lot of research. I had to hire an engineering firm and went through the manufacturing process. I had lots of problems trying to raise money. So the book talks about 4 different ways that I raised money to get this thing off the ground.
Yeah. And for the folks at home who don't know what that is, what was it that you got off the ground?
Well, it was an ergonomic product. It's kind of like a cushion or a bolster, and it was called the Glom Tom at the time. And it was marketed towards video gamers, and it helps relieve stress and tension on your neck, back, and shoulders. It resonated extremely well with esports gamers and Twitch streamers and people who are gaming several hours a day professionally.
Yeah. And when you're manufacturing an item, that's where you're making a investment. That's where you need the capital in order to grow, right?
That's correct. It cost me capital just to get it designed correctly by an engineer to be manufactured. In fact, in the book, I detail a story of how I lost my job and got severance pay, and I used that severance
Wow.
check to fund the engineering and get that started for manufacturing. But yes, you have to pay some money to get a run of manufacturing done, and then I had it shipped to a warehouse so that I can run everything from my smartphone.
Amazing. Entrepreneurs who want to do something similar today have it a little bit easier in that it's print on demand often.
Yes, print on demand, and then digital products, courses, digital guides, anything that helps people solve their crisis or their problem, and mentoring. There's a huge market for that. You don't have to do what I did and go through manufacturing and have a warehouse stock your product and deal with those types of things. It's so easy for people to create their own value for practically nothing and
Yeah,
be able to sell it for something and make profit.
exactly, exactly. Tell us a little bit about your work now. It has to do with being a business coach and a trainer for entrepreneurs. Tell us about that part of your life.
Sure. Well, I had so much success with my first company, Glomtom, that I decided to tell that story in the book. And then I've also decided to tie the book to mentorship and coaching and building a community. So I have a community that I'm building that's free for anyone to join. It's on the school app. I'm building a YouTube channel around that. So that way I can do lives to connect to my viewers and mentor my community live and answer their questions and just generally help people out with them starting businesses and having the similar kind of problems that I have. Now that I've been through it, there's a lot of value that I can add to people.
Absolutely. Tell us a little bit about the growth strategies that you used to succeed without traditional advertising.
Well, it starts with people understanding what their passion is and what their skill set is, and then being able to identify a market need. Once they know what those things are, then they set on their journey with that strategy to create social media and start to create content and things that help people that need that help with
Mhm.
their business and product.
Exactly. Basically, you have to see where there is a need that's wanting in the marketplace and
Mhm.
fulfill that need, right? So you basically have to look at where the demand is, right?
It's yes, and it's more than that. You have to find the people where they're at online that have those needs. And you have to contribute to those communities and start to pull them to your community as well. And then as you help them with their needs, the leverage that I spoke about earlier about making your business about people, this
Mhm.
is where it comes in handy because as you help people with that transition, you start featuring them in your social media so that they feature how you help them and vice versa. So that way it grows and it attracts other people who want that similar type of transition and success.
Awesome. What were the biggest challenges you faced in mass manufacturing and how did you overcome them?
The biggest challenges I had were just the pressure of opening a website, having a bunch of product in the warehouse. And the challenge for me financially was I had to pay the warehouse every month to have that product. And there was pressure to move that product and sell it. And when I opened my website, it was crickets. I had no one coming to my website, no product was selling. So my immediate challenge is I had to get the word out there. But most importantly, I needed to get people to talk about my product. I needed to
Mhm.
get people to show people my product. And through my book, I discover ways on how to do that.
Awesome. Awesome. You had some personal setbacks along the way, the loss of your job, as you mentioned, you went through a depression. Tell us how that influenced your entrepreneurial journey.
Well, I guarantee a lot of people when they start an entrepreneurial journey, there's going to be setbacks and things that get in their way, and you just have to persevere and get through them. One particular one in my book I talk about was FedEx raised their shipping rates, and it just eroded and destroyed my profitability on the product. And so I needed to move that product even faster and just regroup at that point and see what I was going to do next. And fortunately, by a year's end, I ended up selling my company to a larger company,
Hmm.
and that solved a lot of those problems. But that was one of the setbacks that I had to overcome, among other things, like you mentioned, depression and things. I just had to keep going. It was tough.
Exactly. But you know, if you're not failing, if you're not having setbacks, if you're not dropping from time to time, it means you're not out there enough because the journey of success is not like this.
No,
It's like this. And
yes.
you have periods of winning and losing and learning how to weather the tough times is what it's all about because like I said, there's no linear path to success.
You're right. And that's why I coach my community to follow what their passions are and build a business around that. Because if you're very excited about what your business is about, you're going to be more likely to get back up and pick yourself up and get back into it after you've had some rest and been able to regroup.
Exactly, exactly. It sounds like your wife is a great sounding board, a great champion of your work, a great cheerleader. Tell us a little bit about how she's helped you.
Well, she inspired me to just start the company. You know, having a spouse that supports you and says, yes, do it is just so amazing for someone to have
Yeah.
someone behind you. And she was also a sounding board and gave me some great ideas that I list in my book that really changed things. One specifically was I needed to hire an intern because I became overwhelmed with some things with my company. I had a lot of people wanting to partner with my company and become affiliates. So her idea, for example, was to hire an intern. And so I took that idea and ran with it, and it turned out to make all the difference in the world. So as I
Yeah,
told her before recording this, she's the reason I'm here doing this. And I wrote my book and I have this great story to tell, and our life is where it's at is because of her. I'm so thankful.
exactly. Behind every successful person is a spouse who said, go for it.
Yes,
And didn't
absolutely.
say, oh, what about this? What about the money? How are we going to pay our bills? If you do that, get steady work. No.
No.
If you want steady work, you're probably not going to get above like a certain strata in life. If you want to really make it big, if you really want to make a mark, if you really want to make some ka-ching, you're going to have to, put yourself out there. With great risk comes great reward, don't you think?
Absolutely. You have to take some risk. I think for a lot of people that I coach right now, the risk is personal. They just don't want to deal with the emotions. They're afraid of being made fun of and getting their feelings hurt on the internet. And people have to overcome, they have to adopt a mindset to overcome that challenge and know that what you're doing is very rare. Most people in the world want to play it safe, Logan, and just work their jobs. But it's okay also to work a job and to build your business on the side. That's why I specialize in uh, low risk ideas for online business based on passion that people can work on while they still pay their bills and don't have to worry about feeding their families, right?
Exactly. We all do have responsibilities. And like you said, the gig can be a side gig that becomes a primary gig. And we do have to sometimes hold on to that 9 to 5 to pay for health insurance and things like that and the realities of life. That is for sure. You're a busy man. You have a lot of presence online. How do folks find out about you?
Well, they can search for me on YouTube at Power Up Book, just like one word, no spaces or anything. And that is my handle for TikTok, Twitter, for Instagram, Facebook. It's all Power Up Book. It's pretty easy to find me. And they can go also to powerupbook.club as well.
Powerofbook.club. Okay, we will look for that. It is an extraordinary world we've been discussing today with Clif Chambliss. The name of his book is Entrepreneur Power Up, my ad-free startup success and your guide to doing the same. Clif shares his daunting challenges and personal despair that he turned into groundbreaking success in the video gaming industry. And he did it all without a tremendous amount of capital and without traditional advertising. And he has a lot of great advice for you on how you can turn your idea into action and how that action can become a revenue source. Very, very important indeed. Clif, thank you so much for joining us here today on Spotlight.
Thank you so much, Logan, for having me.
I appreciate your time. To the folks at home, I'm Logan Crawford, thanking you for your time this time. Until next time on Spotlight.